Hello Internet, welcome back to another video. And in today's video, well, you've seen the title, you saw the kind of mod that we're playing. Hopefully I put it in the title and then I guess, what would it be called? And it doesn't matter. Anyways, so I'm going to kind of explain what's going to happen here. So instead of me doing commentary like I normally do, I'm going to play through the mod, play the songs and all that. Then afterwards, I'm going to give my opinion on the song. I'm going to rate it by how the animation is, how difficult it was, and if I would put it in a playlist or if it was good. The song. So, now the dialogue, I'm not really going to care about, so I'll probably cut those parts out unless I have something I want to say about it, which then in the afterthoughts, I will put it there. Anyways, hopefully you guys stick to the end of the video. Hopefully you do, because that'll help out my channel a bunch. Anyways, see you in a minute. Bye.
Getting tricky on a Friday night yet.
Three, two, one, go! Left, right, left, right. That's how you do it. Up, down, up, down. That's how you do it. Left, up, down, right. Down, down, up. Down, down, right. Down, up, right, right.
Now, that was definitely a tutorial song. It wasn't very hard, so I'll put the difficulty at like a 1 out of 10. As for how well I like the song, I do like the fact that they had lyrics, quote unquote, in the song, so that was pretty neat. However, it did not really tickle my fancy in a way or whatever, so we'll put the difficulty at 1, we'll put the likability at, we'll put it at a 3, and then we'll put the animation, however, we'll put the animation at a 7 out of 10. Not bad. Next song.
Three, two, one, go!
Alright, so this one was definitely a lot more enjoyable, considering it was an actual song. Its difficulty did spike up a little bit at like the halfway point, but all in all, it was pretty good. So we'll put the likability at a 6 out of 10. We'll put the let's see here. We'll put the difficulty at a we'll put it at a 5 out of 10. Now, for the animation, it did seem a lot better this one time. I did like the way the character flowed through her emotions. So we'll put her at like an 8 out of 10. Not bad. Let's keep going.
3, 2, 1, go!
Now, this one was definitely a big spike up in difficulty. I am not the very best when it comes to actually playing rhythm games. Now, I do also want to say, I've never played an instrument, I've never done any kind of music, so this is all just from a perspective of like a player and I guess a listener, quote unquote. But yeah, so the difficulty I would say has spiked up a good bit. It went from whenever I had it last to about a 7 out of 10. Not bad. The likability of this song is actually pretty good as well, but it's still around the same, so I'll put it as like a 7 out of 10. Not bad. Then for the animation, it's still good, just like last time, but I did notice a few lag parts whenever I would miss a note, so I'll go ahead and just move it down a notch to 7 out of 10. Not bad. Let's get going. On to the next song.
3, 2, 1, go!
disdain for double notes. The difficulty really went up on this one, though the speed wasn't that fast. So we'll put it at a 9.5 out of 10. I dislike the double notes so much, but it was still pretty good in the end. I really did like the bass and the animation shaking every time. I think Ruv is the character's names. Whenever he sung, the building in the background would shake, which I found really interesting. So the animation we're gonna put up at a 9 out of 10. So that's pretty good. As for the likability of the song, I do think if you don't want your ears to bleed, do not put this song on repeat for too long and do not turn up the volume much. But otherwise, it's still likable. I'll put it at a 7 out of 10. Not bad, Ruv. Let's go to the next song.
3, 2, 1, go!
Can we go back to the double notes? Like, oh my goodness, man, the speed and difficulty definitely increased whenever this song played. I will say it was a lot of fun playing and a lot of fun listening to. I definitely like the animation with her wings, quote unquote, and her floating animation and just when she's idle. And I do really like the way everything flows together. So the animation I'm going to put as our 9.9 out of 10. Really close. It's not perfect. There are some animation flaws, but I really like it. It's really good. As for the song likability, I think it's pretty good. If you don't normally listen to this kind of songs or I guess beats, quote unquote, then you wouldn't really like it, I don't think, but pretty good, not gonna lie. So I'll put it at I'll put it at a 7 out of 10. Not my favorite by far, but it's pretty good. Not gonna lie, really liked it. As for difficulty, holy crap, my fingers hurt bad. So we'll put it at a 9 out of 10. Not bad. Let's get on to the next song.
3, 2, 1, go!
Definitely not that bad of a song. Yes, it was a little fast at some points, but it was really good. I really liked it. As for how it sounded, I definitely do like the new character's voice. I believe it said somewhere in the dialogue that he was the son of Sarvente and Rub or whatever. But either way, it was really good. I do like the slight mixture between the angelic voice of Sarv and then the Russian bass of Ruv. That's really fun. I really do like that. I believe this song was called Demon Lolvia or whatever. I do like his sprites, especially his right sprite, which is where he just basically flips you off. It's very funny. I think it fits with being a teen, and so I think it's pretty good. So the difficulty we'll put at a 7 out of 10, not bad. For the animation, I will put it at a 8 out of 10, not bad. And then for the difficulty, I'll put it at a 6 out of 10. I've gotten kind of used to the controls and used to the speed now, so it's not that bad. Alright, on to the next song.
3, 2, 1, go!
I really did like that song. That one was pretty good. It was difficult though. Honestly, with the fast moving speed and the many notes at once, it was difficult. So I'll put the difficulty at a 8 out of 10. Not bad. As for the sound, I think it could be really good. And I think it matches the teen kind of vibe where you're just all over the place all the time. As for, so that'll be 9 out of 10. I think it really captured the teenage kind of everywhere all at once. As for the animation, I find it funny that after his mom got onto him, his right sprite is now no longer flipping you off, it's just him shaking his fist at you, which I find hilarious. Now, his dialogue, however, I find it really funny, which I'll put up the dialogue right now for you to read and see. Again, this just shows his teen personality and just shows really how much of an effect his mother and his family can have on him if they have the right tools, which, again, hilarious. But I know that's just kind of true for a lot of people. However, for me, yeah, I may get embarrassed sometimes, but still, it's my family. What are you gonna do? Love them to death. Anyways, to the next song, please.
2, 1, go!
Definitely not a bad song. It was pretty good. Especially kind of helps explain the teenage, not really angst. What is it? Anger? The extreme anger one feels. Because the song is literally called Attack. And I find that funny. But either way, it's still really, really such a good song. I'll put the likability up at an 8 out of 10. Not bad. I'll put the difficulty up at a 9.9 out of 10. It's really, really difficult for me, at least, to play it. And then for animation, I think it's going to stick at an 8 out of 10. Not bad, really. I think it's really fun. Anyways, on to the next song, please.
3, 2, 1, go!
Again, not a really bad song. Not too bad at all. I do like the idea of it being more of a duet. That's really cool. So we'll put the difficulty, however, it was pretty difficult whenever having to change between the smooth and the, I guess, chunky, quote unquote, or whatever, styles of singing that they both have. But it wasn't too bad. So difficulty we'll put at a 6 out of 10. Not bad. For the animation, since they're both combined together, I think it was a little bit more difficult to animate, but I still think it was pretty good. However, I think it would have been better if they were just like both not really doing the same note, but they were kind of doing, I guess, a song and dance with their animations, which it might be a little more difficult to animate that. Either way, 5 out of 10. Really not that bad. As for likability, I don't really like it. It's not my cup of tea, but it's alright. Not bad. We'll put it at a 7 out of 10. Alright, on to the next song.
3, 2, 1, go!
this one, not too bad. It's called Panic Stricken for a reason, and I did kind of panic a little bit throughout the song due to some double notes, which, again, not a big fan of double notes, so difficulty will be put at an 8 out of 10. Not too bad. As for likability, I do think this one was a lot more likable than the first one, which I've forgotten the name of already, but it's whatever. Pretty good, not too bad. Definitely say I could do a little bit better on it if I tried. Anyways, as for animation, I think it's really difficult for them to find a balance between using both of their sprites at the same time and with the same kind of motion and where one doesn't overlap the other. Really just think it could be done better. Again, I don't really know. I'm not an animation nerd. I'm not a music nerd. Heck, I hardly can play video games without having to stop every few hours. Which I know, gamers, I know that people, non-gamers, that sounds like a lot. But I'm telling you, when it comes down to it, some gamers go on for hours upon days on end, which is strange. Anyways, on to the next song. Here we go.
3, 2, 1, go!
Friday night. Got what it takes. Getting freaky on a Friday night yet. Got what it takes.
I was jamming out to this song while playing. Holy crap, this song is really, really good. I do like how they did kind of basically everything. The animation was smooth, the likability was actually really, really good, and then the difficulty, oh, it was that right spot. It wasn't too hard, it wasn't too easy. So difficulty we will put at a 5 out of 10. Likability we will put at a 9.8 out of 10. Still some things that could be improved. And then for animation, it was so smooth. I'm going to have to put that at a 10 out of 10. Really, really great. Again, I'm not a pro at any field of any of this. So if you disagree with my opinion, make your own YouTube video about it. Alright, next.
3, 2, 1, go!
You gotta be kidding me. A remix this early? Whatever. It's alright. Not bad. I do kind of like what they did with the animation. Again, I really do like it. I'll put it at an 8 out of 10. Great. The likability of it, no, not really there. I'll put it at a 3 out of 10. Not too good for me. I don't really like it. As for the difficulty, same as the other gospel one that Sarv sang. Still, it was pretty bad, especially whenever I was trying to recover from my ears being basically blown wide open from Rub singing. So we'll put it at an 8 out of 10. Not bad. On to the next song.
3, 2, 1, go!
rolled. Oh my goodness, that was phenomenal. Likability, because it's a meme, and it was just really funny to first enter it and be like, what the, oh no. I'm going to put it as a 9 out of 10. Really great likability, not that bad. Difficulty, though, it's like a 5 out of 10. It wasn't really difficult. And as for the animation, I think they did a lot better this time with duetting. I don't know why. It looks so much better. So we'll put it at a 7 out of 10. Not too bad. Alright, on to the next song. And next week.